Welcome back to ATB Reef. Today we will be unboxing and acclimating new tank mates for the SPS 29 gallon Biocube. I placed an order on Black Friday with Live Aquaria and took advantage of several discounts they were offering. They had several fish in stock I was looking for. I've used some other online vendors before, saltwaterfish.com, Top Shelf Aquatics. Live Aquaria can be hit and miss, and we'll see how they did. So our shipment has arrived with 3 new fish and some new cleanup crew. And this is going to be a video about unboxing and acclimating the fish. To start, you need to reduce the amount of light that's on the box because these animals have been in the dark now for close to 15 hours. So we want to be sure they don't have any light shock when we open the box the first time. This particular shipment is from Live Aquaria. I have not used them in a while, but they had some of what I was looking for ready to go. For some reason I got a paper plate, UPS packing label, looks like a heating pack, which is good. It is rather cold out here in mid-December in Washington. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bags here in the box, and I will check them against. We're pulling out. Here's our first. This is our Rainford goby. Firefish. These bags are quite cold. I'm really worried about it. This is our Dragon Faced Pipefish. He is alive, I think. Doesn't look great. And then 4 snails, picked up 2 money cowries, as well as 2 red nereids. Everything is going in my SPS tank. So now I'm going to turn off the lights in this tank for 2 reasons. First is so there's no light shock, but also to reduce the amount of heat that's going to be going into the bags, which will be right floating on the top. So stand by. Okay, we're back. The lights are now on at about 5% on white, no blue or violet. Wanted to leave some light in the tank. I'll pick up and show you in a moment. So I'm going to put the bags in here, let them come to equal temperature for about 20 minutes, and then we'll begin matching the water that the animals are in with the water in the tank. Okay, everybody is now floating in the tank, getting used to their surroundings. I'm going to take a few minutes to feed the fish, and particularly my biggest concern is that coral-banded shrimp. Make sure they're nice and full so that when these guys get released, they're not seen as food. I usually feed frozen, but for this particular thing, I'm going to use these Nutrimar bullets. They're caught a little bit easier by the inverts and are eaten by herbivores as well. Drop a few pieces in. I'm sure the crabs will be nice and happy. So our initial look, everybody looks okay. Not the happiest in the world. They'll probably perk up as they get a little bit warmer. And our biggest concern is this pipefish, and he looks okay. He's sitting upright, seems to care when he gets moved around. Hector's goby is right there. And the firefish kind of blending in with our Excalibur, the long-nosed hawkfish. With the low lights, it's kind of an interesting time to video. So there's our brittle star coming after some of the delicious food I put in for the shrimp. Our very scared coral banded shrimp. He knows I'm trying to catch him, so been avoiding me. Okay, we're about 20 minutes in to temperature acclimation. We're not done acclimating yet. Our guys are still floating at the top. What we got to put together is our tools. So we will have a pair of scissors, this bucket. Now we need to have a bucket that has never had soap in it, and it would be okay for the fish to wind up in if we miss a pour or we need to scoop them out in some way. A lot of people will tell you that the drip method is the best way to acclimate fish, and they might be right. I'm short a heater for that method and don't have a tremendous amount of extra water volume considering it's a 29-gallon tank. So I'm going to go with acclimation inside their bags, and we'll just generally pour about half of the water out of the bag, add half a cup or so about every 5 to 10 minutes, and then repeat that at least twice. Okay, we'll now start taking some of the water out of the bags. Just to be safe, I'm going to start with the firefish. That is the hardiest of the three. So cut open the bag. I like to put my finger like this so that only water comes across the top. And pour out about half of the bag volume. And put it right back in the tank to keep acclimating. There he is, little guy. And cutting enough space for us to work. And pouring out some of the water, not half of it, back into the tank. Dragon Faced Pipefish. Of course, I'm pouring the water in here so that in case the fish goes with it, there's actually something for it to live in until I can scoop it out. So to help add water to the bags, I've got a measuring cup. Also have a specimen cup handy. Add the water. First off, make sure your automatic top off is turned off so that it doesn't add a bunch of fresh water. But we'll take about a half a cup and pour it into the bag. First, what's happening here is the bag water is being partially matched to the temperature and chemistry of your tank water. Snails only need to be temperature acclimated, so now I'm taking them out of their bag and placing them in the tank. So let's spend a minute talking about what we've added today. This is mostly my acropora tank, and it has red bugs, which are small copepods that don't kill acropora, but they irritate them. It's only affecting 2 or 3 of my corals, but there were 2 that I was hoping to frag up and sell soon. So the Dragon Faced Pipefish will eat those, if it doesn't get eaten first. And the other 2 are to add a little bit of additional nutrients to the tank. The tank, I think, is not suffering from a little bit of poor growth because there's not a lot of nitrates in here. There's undetectable phosphates. I need to consider what I'm feeding. So the firefish is a cheap addition that will do fine in a higher flow. The Rainford's goby, Hector's goby, I think they're essentially the same, is a hair algae eater as well as a sand sifter. So that'll be a utilitarian addition to the tank. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes since our last bit of water went in. So we're going to, once again, remove about half of the water in the back. At this point, for releasing the fish into the tank, we're going to position our bucket in a position very close to the tank. We want the fish to have almost no air time, right? But we also want to avoid any tank water or bag water going into the tank. So, bear with me. So, to release the fish, the net, let's position it over the bucket. This is the Rainford goby. We're going to pour all the water, including the Rainford goby, into the net, and put the goby into the tank. With the firefish. Goes in, and then right into the tank. All squared away. So I'm doing this initial follow-up with the guys, with the new fish. There's a pipefish, seems okay. There's a firefish. And Rainford's goby has already found a hiding spot, but I saw him swimming around just fine. No one seemed to think he was food, so that was good. Thank you for joining me for this video about unboxing, acclimating, and adding new reef tank occupants. I hope it's helpful to you as you do the same for your tank.